Now, even though I'm recording, I would still encourage you to take some notes and follow along. We're going to cover lots of great things today. Just pick and choose what's going to be relevant to you. We've got a lot of options available to you guys. Let me formally introduce myself real quick. Hi, everybody. I'm Amber Hunter, your training specialist for today. And you'll see with me, I've got my colleague, Jessie Bergman. Say hi, Jessie.
Hello, hello.
Jessie's new to the team, and so she and I are co-presenting today. You guys are in great hands. Welcome to your end user onboarding training. We're not going to keep our video on the whole time, but we just wanted to introduce ourselves. Now, we've got an hour set aside for today's session. I do try to keep things as interactive as possible. So for those of you that have joined via your own computers, you're welcome to unmute yourself at any time by selecting the unmute option if you've used computer audio, or *6 to mute and unmute yourself from the phone. Mike, I'm hoping that you will be the voice of everybody in the conference room.
I can do that.
Perfect. Chime in at any time, interrupt me, tell me to slow my roll, back me up if I cover something too quickly. And then there's this chat tool here. Mike, do you have access to the chat feature on your computer in there?
Yes, I do.
Great. I'm going to use the chat to send over links, and you can use it to send over questions or comments as we go. So if you're on your own computer, go ahead and send me a quick hello so that I know that you found the function. Appreciate the enthusiasm, Mike.
Never.
Perfect. All right, I see those hellos rolling in. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, again, the intent is not to overwhelm anybody. Depending upon your role with Cole Automotive, you guys will be mixing and matching the features that I'm going to be showing you today. So again, take note of what's relevant to you and what's important to your job function. In our time together today, we're going to talk about activating your RingCentral extension. We'll talk about your options to call from anywhere. We'll cover collaborating and conferencing. And then we'll talk about messaging and managing your extension settings. So what does that all mean? Why are we all here together? Let me start from the beginning. RingCentral is your one-stop shop for all things calling, messaging, and meeting. So you guys are going to have access to these various applications, and they are available on your mobile device. So you can take these on the go. I believe a lot of you are in sales, and so these will be really special to you as you're traveling, you're out in the field, you're making those sales. You can take them on the go on your cell phone. So the calling piece, the RingCentral phone app, we do more than just power your physical desk phone. We have this app available to you on your computer and your cell phone, so you can maintain your business presence from anywhere. So you can make and receive business phone calls, whether you're working on your computer at a Starbucks, or you've taken your cell phone with you on an Uber or on a trip. It's available for iPhone and Android. The messaging piece. The RingCentral app, formerly known as GLIP, which is incredibly fun to say, so we still call it GLIP. This is your instant messaging piece. This is how you can collaborate with your colleagues. You can send files back and forth, instant message each other. It really cuts down on the emails in your inbox. And then lastly, today we're going to cover RingCentral Meetings. This is what we're using right now to host today's session. It's your complete collaborative meeting option. It's audio, video, and screen share. And I'll make sure that you're comfortable using this tool by the end of today's meeting. Any questions before we jump in? I have one for you, and maybe Mike can answer. Mike, I just saw you go off screen, but have the activation emails gone out yet?
Yes, our Chrysler store for sure has all been activated, and we will continue the activations through today and next week.
Okay, so Jesse's going to take over for just a minute and just walk everybody through who hasn't activated. You're going to want to get that done if you haven't done it yet. It expires after 48 hours. And so, Mike, that's a good tip for you and Jeremy. If you send out those activation emails and they don't get completed within 48 hours, you'll have to resend them.
Thank you.
So Jesse's going to take us through activating your RingCentral extension.
Good morning. Okay, so yes, as Amber mentioned, I'm going to take you through activating the RingCentral extension. Now, first off, you will, apologies here, there we go. We're just switching drivers. Okay, so you will receive this activation email as Amber mentioned, and here you'll see this button, big, can't miss it, to set up your account. So you're going to want to click, you'll receive the welcome email from support@ringcentral.com. Then you'll see this set up account button. You want to click there, which will take you to the next part. Here you'll want to create your password. Now the password is something you will use for the life of your product or your account here with us.
Does not expire.
Does not expire, which is awesome, and we don't prompt you to change your password, so that's a great thing. And then after setting up your password, you'll want to go ahead and set up your PIN. This is 6 to 10 digits, and this is the same PIN you'll use when checking your voicemail from your physical phone, so think about that. If there's something you want to, if you're thinking about something that's easy to dial, I know that matters. And then lastly, it will ask you to create your security question and answer. So this is something that tech support will ask you for if you call in. So make sure you pick something that you feel comfortable sharing. And
Don't mind stating out loud.
Yeah, exactly. So then next you'll be directed to this Express Setup screen where it'll ask you a few questions about your user info. So it'll ask you to verify your name and address.
Are you in the right time zone?
Are you in the right time zone? That's another one. And as well as verify your location for the emergency services as well.
Correct. So double check that information for sure.
And you may also choose to set up your voicemail at this time.
Under the call handling section. It's not required. We're going to show you a little bit more about that going forward. And how do they log in, Jesse?
Okay, so you all are going to log in with your email address and RingCentral password.
Now let's talk about the phone. Mike, would you say that most of your users are going to be app users or Yealink users?
All salespeople will be mainly using the functions on their actual cell phone, but a majority of our people that may be on the call may be using the Yealink as well, the phone. So it could just depend who's on the call right now.
Okay, so what we'll do, let's start with the desktop app, only because if you understand the desktop, you're going to understand the mobile, and then we'll jump into using the Yealink, the physical phone. So something for everybody today. So the application, the RingCentral phone app here, you just click into it, and as Jesse mentioned, you log in with your
email
and your RingCentral password by clicking on sign in. So let me sign in. Jesse doesn't know my password.
It's going to take us a minute for me to guess all of Amber's passwords.
There we go. Now, once you get signed in, it's just like any other, if you're comfortable with the smartphone, I should say, you're going to be comfortable with this app. It's available for iPhone and Android. So if you're following along, you're welcome to take a look at your phone in your app store and search for RingCentral. And we're specifically talking about the phone app at this particular part. So whether you have it on your computer or your cell phone, we're going to demo both. And Jesse, go ahead and walk us through what we're looking at here.
Okay, so one of the first things you may see is this message regarding 911. And if you see this, it's just a note to say that if you're using this and you're calling 911 while you're out and about, you'll need to tell them your location. So I just like to point that out to be aware of that.
Yeah, it doesn't know that you're sitting at Starbucks. So you're going to have to let dispatch know if you dial 911.
And then across the top here, we have our main controls. So as you can see, if you hover over them, they will give you a indication as to what they are. So we'll start here with the dial pad. And this is how you can initiate a call. So as you'd imagine, you can type your number in this way, or if you'd like, you can go ahead and search for someone. Here, I'll search for Amber. It'll bring up the company directory. And as we can see, Amber is here. If we'd like to make a call, we simply select her and then hit the green button to initiate the call.
And let's call Crash Landon. We'll do a test phone call. Our buddy Crash Landon, he's not real. That disappoints a lot of people.
As you can see here, there's a green dot next to Crash, which indicates that he is available. And I don't know if you noticed, when we pulled up Amber, she had a red dot indicating that she is in the middle of something, perhaps a training. So go ahead and call Crash. Select him here, and then the green button.
Now, we're not going to talk about every single control, just the big ones. And you'll notice that RingCentral is very feature rich, but we're mostly going to talk about the controls that are relevant to you.
So here we have mute, we have hold, call transfer. We can flip the call, which is one of our most popular features, and we can also add in callers.
So Jesse, tell us a little bit more about call flip. This is really relevant to those of you out in the field, toggling between different options, taking your calls on the go. Tell us how it works, Jesse.
Yes, so as Amber mentioned, call flip is a great option. If, let's say you're on the phone with Crash here and he's talking and talking and talking, and all of a sudden that customer you've been waiting to talk to walks right in, you need to get out there, you can flip your call by clicking here.
You should be able to flip your call.
You should be able to flip your call.
There we go.
There. So you can flip the call to any number you wish to. Here we have, for example, Amber's desk phone, the mobile, a home number. So let's say we want to flip it to her mobile phone. We select here, hit call flip, and then the call will seamlessly be transferred to Amber's cell phone. And so she's got the gift of freedom there.
So once I answered on my cell, I'm now untethered from my computer, and I can take the call on the go. So it's just a great way to toggle between your devices quickly. But Jesse, let me ask you this. Does Crash hear anything when I'm swapping the call?
Generally, it's going to be a pretty seamless transition, but there may be a small blip.
He's going to hear some hold music real quick. So you do want to let Crash know that you're swapping the call. Hey, Crash, give me 1 second. Then you swap the call over. Now, real quick, Jesse's going to walk you through what it looks like to receive a call. So Amber's cell phone is going to call Amber. Going to break the matrix here. Oops. So when a call comes in, a new window is going to open up, and Jessie gets to decide how she wants to handle that call.
So here we have Amber calling, and I see this window pops up. We can choose to forward the call. I can reply by text. I can simply ignore the call, send Amber straight to voicemail, or answer.
You got it. And when we answer, go ahead and answer, we have all the same controls that we had initially. So let's pause here. Are there any questions on making or receiving a phone call? And we did have a question come through.
So the question was, there are 2 RingCentral apps. Which one do we use?
So when you're adding the apps to your mobile device, we do have a variety of apps. You can download all of them, but specifically we're talking about the RC phone, the RingCentral phone app. And real quick, I'll turn my video on so I can show you. Jesse's getting out of frame here, a little camera shy this morning. So the RC phone, so it's this guy here. Yep, so this guy here, other one. So when you're downloading the apps, you want the little guy with the phone, RC phone app. So hopefully when you're taking a look, oh, but I think Jay Dillard's saying just go ahead and do both. Take them all with you on the go. Any other questions? All right, so real quick, Jesse's going to walk us through a few of the controls at the top. Again, we're not going to touch on everything. It's a very robust system, but we just want to give you what you need when you're on the go.
Okay, so looking across the top, the next feature that's a handy feature to have is our HUD, which stands for the heads-up display. And here, this is a really quick way to see kind of what everybody, or those that you include, are up to and if they're available. So here we can look at our list. We can see that Greg here is available, Crash is available, our coworker Jonathan is busy at the moment, and here we can see Byron is actually on the phone. This little phone indicates.
So this is only for internal contacts. How many can you add here? 100.
This shows up to 100.
And then Jesse, what do we click on to add and manage our contacts?
So over here, this allows us to add contacts.
So by clicking the plus button, you can add contacts, and then using the little trash can, you can delete contacts. Now, this is only for internal, but it's a great way to have up to 100 speed dials listed. Jesse, what's the next feature?
So the next feature here is going to be contacts. Pretty straightforward. We can search in this list. Let's say again we want to call Amber. Whoa. or do something even more interesting. There we go. What happened? Okay, so we pull up Amber, select Amber here. We can see that she's busy, but if we wish to call her, we simply select the phone icon here and place the call.
So now I have a question, and many of you have probably noticed that in the heads-up display and the complete company directory, the contact listing, we can see our colleagues' availability. So how was Amber able to put herself in a training? Jesse, walk us through that.
Sure, so if I'm Amber and I'm in a training with my colleague, I can simply click on my phone number, and then you'll see the profile pops up. If we want to change the little tagline here,
Go ahead and put Amber's awesome.
we could go ahead and put in anything we wish. Amber's awesome. There you go. So you can add that tagline and of course change that. And then if we go down this list here, we see we have a number of other options that we're able to select. So green indicates that you're available, red is busy. This do not disturb here will send the callers directly to voicemail. And then invisible keeps everybody guessing. So they don't know what you're doing or where you're at.
Are there any, no worries, little grammar police on the line today. Are there any questions on using the heads-up display or the contact list or managing your availability? All right, so lastly, we're going to touch on the call log and then accessing your messages, and then we'll take a look at the mobile app. A question did come through about, do the apps only work with the location services on? Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I'm tempted to say yes, but I will double check into that for you. So Jesse, take it away with the call log.
Okay, so the call log here will show you your missed calls as well as all of your calls if you're interested. So you can choose either of these. As we click around, if we want to click into them, we can do that as well. Oops, sorry, there we go. Click into them. So if there is a number you don't recognize, you want to learn a little more, you're able to do that by clicking on this small little info button.
One thing I like about that info button, if you'll pop back in there, Jesse, you guys have the availability to block calls. So if you're getting a lot of spam calls, which I'm in Colorado and spam is insane right now, you guys can block that number quickly and easily just here from your call log.
Okay.
Let's take a look at messages.
So here the envelope icon takes us to messages. Again, we can see all messages here. We can look at our voice messages, if we happen to receive a fax or a text. And then let's say we're in here, we see a text message and we'd like to respond. As you might imagine, we can click on that and respond from the bottom. So I'll go ahead and send myself a message. Amber is, with the proper punctuation, awesome. Go ahead and send that.
Now let's back it up a notch here. So you guys may or may not know that your Ring Central phone number, your direct number to Ring Central, is good to make and receive voice calls, send and receive faxes, and as Jesse just demonstrated, you can also text. So let's say that Mike says, Amber, I want to give you a call. Here's my number. Mike says, Amber, I want to send you a fax. By all means, Mike, here's my fax number. Mike says, Amber, I'm going to text you directions to happy hour. Don't threaten me with a good time. Here's my text. Now, how do you guys send faxes? Who here faxes? A lot of people?
A lot of the sales department does.
Okay. Do you think they would prefer to fax from this application or from email? Which do you anticipate they'll use the most?
Receive an email fax from the app.
Okay, so you can fax from here. You can click on the paper icon. I suspect you would probably find it way more beneficial to just use your email. Give me 1 second to pull it up. So if you open a new email from your business account, and it's, of course, it's all on another screen here. In that email, you can fax simply by typing in the to field the fax number that you're sending to. So you're going to type in the 10-digit fax number. Is that 10 digits? 1, 2, yeah, good enough. And then you want to add the symbol, RC as in Ring Central, fax.com. By typing in the fax number and including this ending, you're turning this email into a fax. So what you can do from here is just attach your file, and yes, a PowerPoint is something that you can attach. It just can only be 20 megs or approximately 200 pages. You'll type a quick little note in the subject line. So here is the contract. I suspect that's probably something you guys are faxing. Anything you type in the body of the message is not included. So it's just going to be the to field, a note in the subject line, and then your attachment. So a question came through, will this give us a direct number instead of having to transfer from the front desk? And Mike, I'm going to put that out to you just to be sure that I'm not spreading misinformation, but is everyone getting their own direct dial?
That is correct. Everyone will be able to have their own fax number, specifically salespeople. When you need a copy of the insurance, you'll give them your number, and that will come right to your email address.
All right, any other questions or comments on faxing? Awesome, no argument here, Jay Dillard, agreed. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the soft phone application. So this app here, when it's on your computer, it's called a soft phone. So it's like having a smartphone added to your computer. Now, if what I said made sense to you there, we're gonna switch gears real quick over to the mobile. Now, we're not going to dive too deep because, again, if you're comfortable with what we just looked at on the computer, you're going to be comfortable with the mobile. So give me 1 second to share my screen. In 3, 2, 1, you guys should be seeing my personal cell phone. So I love these apps. These apps, again, allow you to take your business presence with you when you're on the go. So I've downloaded every app, and we're going to touch on these other apps here in just a minute. But specifically right now, we're talking about the RC phone. So when I click in, my main menu is down at the bottom. So right now we're looking at my messages, and up at the top is where I can filter. And I can fax from here. So if I'm on the go, I truly can maintain my business by selecting fax. And then using the square with a pencil, I can send a fax right here from my cell phone as long as I have the document available. So that's pretty awesome, and I suspect you sales reps would probably like that. Now down at the bottom, checking into my recents, I've got my missed calls, or up at the top, I can filter. Popping into my contacts, this is absolutely my favorite part. If I'm running late to work, I don't have to call Jessie from my personal cell phone. I can find her in the company directory from here and let her know, hey Jessie, tell the boss, might not be in today. Putting it on Jessie. Now next to the contacts list is the keypad. Now this app is just like any other app that you would add to your phone, whether it's Facebook or Pinterest or whatever the kids are into today. It's working off of Wi-Fi. So right now on my cell phone, I'm connected to company Wi-Fi. So when I call Crash by dialing his extension, dialing his phone number, finding him in the contacts, once I initiate that call, I'm using the internet. I'm on Wi-Fi. Now you'll notice here I have many of the same controls that we had while we were talking to Crash on the computer, but the biggest difference is switch to carrier. So if I walk out of the building, it's no surprise that my phone's going to swap over to LTE or 3G. So I'll be using my data. If I don't want to use my data, I can switch to carrier, which means that it's going to swap the call over and use my minutes. So by default, when you're connected to Wi-Fi, you're using Wi-Fi. When you walk out of the building, you can use your data. If you don't have unlimited data, you can switch to carrier. Are there any questions on the mobile?
Sometimes I get phone calls, Amber, that need to be transferred to someone else. Somehow I just get random calls that should be transferred somewhere else. I do see the transfer button in the lower left-hand corner. Can you just show me what that looks like real quick?
So unfortunately, once I swap buttons, my screen doesn't display. But when you press transfer, it pops up your company directory. And so then from there, you would just pick somebody, you'd search for them. And then once you select them, it asks transfer the call, and you just say transfer. So unfortunately, I'm unable to show it, but you just press transfer, search the directory, and then transfer.
Salespeople, this would help if you have a customer that needs to schedule something for service. Instead of making the customer call back to the dealership, you could transfer them. Let's say you're at Buick, you transfer them to Donna essentially, and she would get the call to the right location.
Any other questions or comments on the mobile? All right. I was going to stop sharing, but it stopped sharing for me. So now let me put this out there. We're going to switch gears and talk about the Yay link. So actually, I'm not putting anything out there just yet. So those of you with a physical phone, the Yay link T46S desk phone. If that name doesn't mean anything to you, Jesse's going to show you what it looks like. Ta-da!
Over to our spotlight. There we go.
Now, an important thing we haven't talked about yet, Jesse. Go ahead and tell us about dialing.
Yes, one of the great things with Ring Central is that when you place a call, we use 10-digit dialing, so you don't need to dial a 1 or a 9 to call out.
Or just dial a colleague's extension directly. So 10-digit dialing, no 9 or a 1, or a colleague's extension directly.
So when you're making a call, first step, pick up the handset, press the speaker button.
If you want to go hands-free.
If you want to go hands-free, yes. Or you can press the headset button if you wish to use the headset.
But you have to have a headset.
This is true. And we recommend a high-quality headset.
Yeah, we have a list. If you guys, anybody's interested in a headset, we have a list on our website of what you can accommodate with this device and with our app.
So let's go ahead and talk about some of the phone features of the Yay link here. First off, you can set up and check your voicemail using this button here. Redial a call and access recent calls using the button here. You can also scroll using these here, up, down, right, left. The middle button here is the OK, which is similar to your enter button. So if you're scrolling to a number, you see you have some missed calls here, and you see a call you'd like to return, you simply highlight that by pressing the button. So let's say we want to call back this first one here. We would press this button, the line key.
You just press OK. You highlight it and press OK.
My apologies. Hit OK in order to call them back. And now let's talk about the active call controls a little bit.
So when you're actually on a call,
you can place the call on hold using the button here.
Oh, and this is a good point that just came through in the chat. This is the same phone that you guys currently have. Is that right, Mike? Somebody chatted over, we already have this phone.
It is almost identical, yes.
Oh, is it worth it to go through it, or are we boring everybody to tears here? Be honest.
So quick.
Okay.
I would just go quickly. You don't have to. All right, Jeremy? Yeah. Just quickly, just in case there's any new hires as well.
So slightly different. You guys have the G, not the S, slightly updated. So we'll just breeze through it. Transferring a call, going to use the transfer button. You have a couple types of transfers you can do. So when you're transferring a call back to the desk, you can do a blind transfer where you just send that call straight through. Or you can do a warm transfer. So the transfer button allows you to either do the blind transfer or a warm transfer is where you get to introduce the caller. You can say, hey, Mike, I've got Jessie on the line. Do you mind if I transfer her through? Mike will say yes or no. A blind transfer just sends the caller straight through with no introduction. So right now, I'm breezing through these. I don't want anybody to stress. I actually have this presentation available for you, so you have these step-by-step directions. And so I'm just introducing you to what's available. And I will back it up real quick. The question came through, how do you do the blind transfer? So again, I won't read every step to you, but just transfer, dial, and then press transfer again. That's how you just send it straight through. If you want to be a little more formal, and stop me if I went too quick there, Jay Dillard, you're going to press the transfer button, dial, and then just start speaking. I'm not going to press transfer right away. I'm going to let Mike know that I have Jessie on the line. So it's really easy. Either you pause or you just send them straight through. Three-way conferencing, this is your way to add in additional callers. It's not an audio conference bridge. This is just, hey, I've got Mike on the line. I want to get Jeremy on the line, Jesse on the line. So you press conference and then you dial in the extension to merge callers together. Now I know that we breezed through that. Real quick, I'm going to send you guys, nope, get it together, phone lady. I thought I had it for you. Let me pause, close your eyes. I'm going to share some trade secrets behind the scene here. So I have this presentation saved. I'm going to send you guys a link to it. And so Mike, if you want to grab it for anybody who's in the conference room, and then anybody else who joined via their computer can just grab it directly from the chat. But those directions for the phone are listed in this link that I'm sending you. So feel free to copy and paste that into your browser, bookmark it, save it for later. It's just access to those step-by-step directions. So any questions on the physical phone or anything you were hoping we would look at that we didn't?
This is your time to ask questions, team. If you got something you want to know, ask it now. Please.
I guess it is just a phone. So, all right, we'll move on. Setting up voicemail when you're going on vacation. So now we're going to talk about your extension settings. So that's a great question. Nope. This is just a Friday today. So Jesse's going to walk us through managing your extension settings. So far we've talked about activating your account. So keep an eye out for that email. We've shown you how to use the phone on your computer and your mobile, and we've talked briefly about your physical phone. Now we have a one-stop shop website for you to manage all of these devices and set your preferences in one simple location. So specifically to answer this question that came through, how do I do setup when I'm on vacation? Jesse's going to walk us through the online account. In just a moment, because I deleted the website to get you guys the link to the presentation. And I'm going to send this through to everybody using the chat. We're actually going to service.ringcentral.com. So I sent that through. Bookmark this for sure. It's not a website that you're going to access every single day, but you will want to access it at least once. So I'm going to introduce it real quick, and then Jesse's going to take it away and walk us through. So whether you're logging into our applications or you're logging into this online account, again, you guys log in with your email and password. And Jesse's going to walk us through, we're going to give you a little pro tip, something extra in user details, how to set your business hours. In phones and numbers, we'll show you how to set up your speed dials for that physical device. We saw in the heads-up display, the HUD, how you can set it up on your app. But for your actual phone, you can set it up here. She'll walk us through call handling and forwarding. So where do you want your line to ring? How long do you want it to ring? Do you want to answer on your home office, on your personal cell phone, on our app? And then lastly, messages and notifications, and specifically those away messages. We'll make sure we cover that when you're out of town. So take it away, Jesse.
Okay.
Oh, and let me log in for you. Now we log in with our phone number. You guys will probably find it easiest to log in with your email and then that password that you'll create. And now Jesse can take it away.
Okay, so we're all set here. The main menu, as you might imagine, is across the top. And here we can directly, to the left, my apologies. We have an overview of your extension. You can also directly access your messages. You can check out your call log, look into your contacts, and then what we'll be doing today primarily will be found under the Settings tab. So let's click into Settings. As Amber mentioned, this is the menu that she just went over. So we'll first go into User Details, and here you'll set some of your basic user details. If you'd like to record your username, you can go into edit here. You'll do record my name. Now it will by default record the user's name. However, and the system does a pretty good job, but if your name is Deborah, it says Deborah, you can go in, you can swap it, and it's a really nice system. In fact, if you'd like to record it by having it call your phone, you can do that by entering your mobile number and then having it call you now.
So the system uses text-to-speech, and if it doesn't do your name justice, you can pop in here. So if it's saying Deborah, you can come in and record it accurately.
And now if we look into settings and permissions, you'll want to set your user hours. Now, why is this important? So it's important to set your user hours because with the RingCentral system, you have all sorts of different options. So this is like setting your business hours. If we come in here right now, Amber has it set so that she's working Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30. But let's say Amber gets Mondays off.
Nice.
So we can simply toggle on and off here to select the day of the week. If we go into Monday and decide, okay, well, now Amber's back here, but she gets off at 2 on Mondays, we can set this. If we hit save, now at 2 o'clock on Monday, if her phone's ringing, it will go straight to voicemail. Are there any questions about that?
So that's just really nice, especially for those of you using the apps on your mobile. So when you're on the go, let's say that it's a Sunday, you're having brunch with your family, but you get a business call. If you're not into that, this is going to send your caller straight to voicemail. So that way you're not interrupted on your personal time.
Okay, so next we're going to go into phones and numbers. And here we'll click on phones. Now, with RingCentral, you have the opportunity to set, as you would normally think of it, a speed dial. People you can access with the click of a button or the press of a button. And here, in order to do that, we'll go into what is called presence. So you'll want to remember here, if you're thinking, how do I do speed dial? The word you want to look for is presence. When we look at this screen here, we'll have all of these different line items for people that are on our presence or speed dial list. As you can see, Amber is the first 2 lines. So you will always be the first 2 lines. The first one you can think of as your direct line, and the second one you can kind of think of as a call waiting line. So let's say we want to add someone new here. We've got our 10th spot open. We can go in, select a user.
And it's only internal contact. So this is how you're programming those buttons on your Yealink. So that actual device, these line items correspond with the buttons on the phone.
So let's say we want to search for our buddy Crash. Whoops. Oops.
Not in the company directory.
Not
Crash
there.
has been promoted to customer.
So let's say we want to search for Andrew.
Perfect.
We found him here. We can select him, scroll down, hit done.
Mm-hmm. And then your physical phone will reboot when you press save. And then Andrew Crockett, if you've selected him, will now be listed on your device.
So here we can call him with the push of a button.
Perfect.
Anything else? Are there any questions regarding that?
So team, this would be people that you might call from your desk phone a lot. That's this presence button. There's 10 buttons and essentially next to the T46 that will let you put, like you want to call the service manager all the time, right? Whoever it is within the company that you're calling a lot, that will let you put that person on there to quickly dial them. So that's the reason for that. Erwin, to answer your question, the voicemail will be, maybe you should answer, Amber. So his question was, where does the voicemail go? If you're on after hours and it goes right to voicemail, is it coming to the app and he can listen to it after dinner's over? Okay.
And so it's going to, and I just want to be sure it's going to the RingCentral voicemail. And so maybe I wasn't even answering that right. But it's going to your RingCentral voicemail, and that's covered in this messages section here. And so you can set your after hours voicemail and your business hours voicemail. But just to be clear, it's your RingCentral voicemail. You can access it via the application. We'll show you how you can receive notifications. So maybe via email, you'll just get an email notification and listen to it via email. Let me know if that was good.
Yeah, I think that's good. Another thing with the presence piece, I went through and set up everybody's call parks on presence already. So if you see something like CK Park or CN Park or any of those, don't remove those because you will remove your park line. hotkeys.
All right. So now let's talk about call handling and forwarding. So this is really where you set up your call flow. So Jesse, explain to us what this section is.
Okay, so there are a lot of options in here through Ring Central to set up your call handling and forwarding. And as Amber says, this determines your call flow. So this determines which device will ring and for how long and in what order. So if we click in here, now we're in our user hours tab, and those are the hours we just set, so our business hours. We can see that we have lots of different options for how our calls come in, so for devices. It's automatically set here that it will ring first to the desktop application and mobile app. That's by default. If we go in here, however, we can click and choose how many rings we want it to ring for. So right now it's set to 4 rings. 3 to 4 is pretty standard. Now, the next one, if a call comes in, as it's set now, Amber here has it set to ring her desk phone, and again for 4 rings. But let's say maybe Amber's working from home, and so she doesn't want her office phone to ring. We can turn this off and easily turn on her home phone. So when you turn that on, you can see that it jumps in line. And so now if a call comes in, it will ring for 4 rings on the desktop and mobile app, and then 4 rings on her home phone. So what happens if a call comes in? This is the sequential calling. What happens if a call comes in and Amber doesn't answer it? It'll ring first, 4 rings here on the desktop and mobile app, then 4 rings on her home phone, and then it will go to her voicemail. And again, this is because what we have is a sequential setup in this listing.
And we could go simultaneously if we wanted by changing this drop down up here. So if I want everything to ring at once, especially for you sales reps on the go, have the mobile ring, have your desk phone ring, and just answer whatever you can get to. Any questions on customizing this section, entering additional options to ring at? It's really, the sky's the limit here. Okay, let's go down to the final section. So we've programmed our speed dial, set our business hours, set where we want our line to ring. Now let's talk about our voicemail greeting. You can have one during hours and after hours. You simply click edit here. So for those of you that are relying heavily on our applications, this is going to be the ideal location to modify your voicemail greeting. If you use your physical phone, you're just going to use that envelope icon and go through the motions. So for you app users, you would just swap it over to custom. The first time you do it, like we saw when we recorded Deborah, you can use the phone, computer mic, or you could import one if you'd like. Now you can have a greeting after hours. So this could just be separate, saying, hi, I'm out for the day, go ahead and leave me a voicemail. And then in settings, this is where you can edit. They turned mine off. Maybe I've also been promoted to customer. This is where you can edit how you prefer to be notified. Mine's not displaying at the moment, but when you click into your own, you'll see the option to edit notifications. And this will allow you to receive an email, when you get a voicemail, when you get a fax, when you miss a call, when you get a text. So it's really personalized. You can set it up to be notified however you prefer. And I'm sorry I'm unable to demo it. I don't know where my button went. Now to finally get to that question that came through, what happens when I'm on vacation? This is very specific, so stay with me here. You're going to go into call handling and forwarding, and you're going to go into settings. I lied. You're going to go into advanced. You can add rules in here. So when you add a rule, this is setting up an exception. So my rule, this will be my vacation rule. So this is just saying anytime I'm on vacation, I'm going to flip this switch. You can set it for a specific date or time. You could either indicate the actual days that you're on vacation, the holidays that you're out of town, or you can just mirror your business schedule and click next. And then here's the nice part. You could forward calls using your bells and whistles. It's going to have your greeting, your ringtone, all of that good stuff, and you can forward your calls to Mike. Or you could take a message only, go straight to voicemail and just say, I'm out of the office, I'll be away for this long. You could play an announcement and hang up on the caller. I'm away, don't leave a message, click. Or unconditional forwarding, where we just go ahead and put Mike's cell phone in here and we save it, so whenever we're on vacation, it's going straight to Mike. So now once we set this up, you can have it saved, and you just turn it on and off as needed. So you set it once, and then you turn it on when you're out of the office, turn it off when you're back in. Any questions on that? All right. We have exhausted all things phone, probably more things phone than you ever thought possible. We've activated our account, we've used a desktop app, a mobile app, a physical phone, and we've programmed our preferences here. If we had to pick, because we are running low on time, should we cover meetings or should we cover GLIP? And I missed the question, is that from the desktop app? What was that from?
Irwin.
That'd be from your web browser, Erwin.
Oh, thank you. Erwin is
Yeah,
from the browser.
The big thing with GLIP, if you guys can cover, that's probably going to be the biggest feature, is the texting external piece of it.
Okay.
In Teams, those are probably the two biggest pieces, and I know you guys are trying to phase out that RC app to where it's all going to be in GLIP, so probably just touch over the phone functions, other than that, that should be good.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to close out with this final application. Let me give you a quick lay of the land here. So, and let me give you a little background information. You don't even know what I'm doing here. So we're talking about this app here, the Ring Central app. This is our instant messaging tool. You guys will access this app. I'm logged into a test account online, so that's why I'm where I am. When you guys sign into the app, you'll notice that the left menu here is your main menu. So I'm outlining it in red. You're going to see your business name. You'll see a dialer here. It's not as robust as the phone apps that we've taken a look at so far, but there's a lot of great stuff in here. So you can still make and receive calls from this app. You've got bookmarks, things that you've intentionally saved. And then because it's an instant messenger, everything else is your contacts. So this whole rest of it is my favorite contacts, individual and direct messages, and then teams that I'm a part of. Now highlighted in white is whoever you're talking to. So I've just clicked into a conversation with Phil Corson. I could have clicked into a conversation with multiple people. And the whole center section is devoted to my conversation. So this whole center panel here is all things conversing. Down at the bottom is where I can type my message. So hello all, press enter. It's unlimited file sharing, so you can drag and drop massive PowerPoints, huge recordings, mortgage documents, whatever you want, and post it. And then to the right is the shelf. So this is where pieces of the conversation get stored. So you can see who you're talking to, those files that have been shared, so that as the conversation progresses, you don't have to scroll back through to find those pieces. And this is especially great when you're in a team. So let's talk teams. Go team. So either next to people or next to teams, to initiate a new conversation, you use the plus sign. Now teams are very specific. This is when you're organizing a group of people for a specific purpose to send information back and forth. When you just talk to people, that's direct messaging. It's not as formal. So we'll name this team. We're going to call it sales. I would add all the members of sales. So this is going to be Tracy. Randall's going to join sales, getting promoted. And then that's good enough. 2 members of sales. Then I can describe the team. So what's this for? So this is to share sales ideas and notes. I'm not in sales. Hopefully that's relevant. I can make it public. Do I want anybody to join? Probably not. We're just going to keep it closed to the sales reps. Can anybody add other members? Sure, why not? Do I want people to post messages? Yeah, because this is for collaboration. Or I could make it read only. By turning this off, it's just whatever I post, everybody gets the joy of reading it, but they don't get to respond. And then I'll create my team. So now when I message, I'm messaging all those members that I added, and I'm just sharing my sales stuff. Sales, sales, numbers, numbers. Any questions on the lay of the land, conversing, or initiating a conversation? There was one other thing that you guys said, actually. When I'm adding members to my team or my conversation by entering an external email address, you're inviting somebody outside of the company. Now, are there any questions?
How to start a new text message, you know, to maybe an outside contact might be handy for them to see.
And that was just added. Where was it added? The plus sign. Yeah, so in the plus sign, this is where I get to start a new phone call, start a video chat like what we're in today, or send a new message. So this is specifically, where did SMS go?
It's under people on the left side. You hit that plus.
Thank you. It's brand new. Well, so this is starting a message, but you can also text.
Yeah.
Or is that what you're
there's
referencing?
there's a blue box that comes up under new message there that says start text.
Oh, got it. Okay, so let me just put somebody in. And I'm sorry, it's literally brand new. So we'll put Tracy, and I click continue.
Well, on mine, it comes up on that screen right there that you're on. It says right below that, it says send text.
So my test account might not be the latest and greatest just yet. But I think I know what you're talking about. You'll see it right here at the bottom.
So let me just explain it real quick, Amber. So essentially, guys, you're going to hit that plus button up at the top and upper right hand corner. It's going to say send SMS, okay? You're going to hit that. It's going to say put a phone number in. You're going to put the customer's phone number in, and then it will give you the option to start a communication with the customer. The reason why this is so cool is because you're able to obviously type on a full keyboard and or share, you know, documents from your computer and so on and so forth. So that comes in really handy. Even just when you hit that plus button and you hit start new message, what Jeremy was referring to was it will give you the option to send SMS. So that's essentially what Jeremy was just referring to. Plus button, send message, and then it asks you if you'd like to send it as an SMS.
Yep. So kind of the real world scenario here for this, for your sales guys is one, when you send out a text message through here, it's using that direct dial number instead of your cell phone number. And the other thing is, like, let's say you get a new car on the lot, but it's still behind service, and a customer asks you for pictures of it. You can literally walk out to the car, make a video of it, even if you want to, and then text it to the customer through either the RC phone app or the Glip app on mobile, and it will go right to the customer. And that way, all your stuff's in one spot too. So, you know, if you're on the phone with somebody, you can respond. If they send you a text message on the desktop app, there's a lot of applications I think we'll use this for.
And so I pulled up my business account. Close your eyes, everybody. But when you press that plus button, here's what it shows you. So enter the name or the phone number. And now act like you didn't see this.
Yeah. Commence pretending right now.
Now, I know we've covered a lot today. I'm very aware that we covered a lot. So I want to make sure that you guys have some additional support. So specifically our support site, support.ringcentral.com. This is where you can come and type in a keyword search. And I'm sending this over to you with the chat. So you can type in keyword here, or you can go to RingCentral University. This is the team that I'm on. So a little shameless plug here. When you click in, we've got getting started content. We offer webinars. So if you want more training, if you don't have another hour to devote to phone training, I get it. You can come in here and grab little bite-sized videos, just quick tutorials on whatever it is that you're interested in brushing up on. Now, last but not least, I hope this was the best phone training you've ever attended. It may have been the only phone training you've ever attended. I'm going to go ahead and send you a link to a survey. It can be completely anonymous if you'd like, and it's just a couple questions. You can let Jesse and I know how we did. I'm Amber Hunter. She's Jesse Bergman.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for your time and attention, guys. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Questions, anyone?
All right. Thank you all so much. Enjoy your weekend. You made it.
Thank you, Amber.
My pleasure. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I can't end the meeting. Why can't I end the meeting?